ਚੱਕਦੇ ਟੀਵੀ ਦੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਦਰਸ਼ਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਰਮਿੰਦਰ ਸਿੰਘ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ। ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਸਵਾਗਤ ਹੈ ਸਾਡੇ ਸ਼ੋਅ 1 ਆਵਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ। ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਅੱਜ ਮੌਜੂਦ ਨੇ ਸ਼ੀਲਾ ਟੇਲਰ, ਜੋ ਕਿ ਕੈਲਗਰੀ ਵੈਸਟ ਤੋਂ ਵਾਈਲਡ ਰੋਜ਼ ਦੇ ਕੈਂਡੀਡੇਟ ਨੇ ਔਰ ਇਹ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਅੱਜ ਮੌਜੂਦ ਨੇ। ਆਓ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਸਵਾਗਤ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਔਰ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਇਲੈਕਸ਼ਨਸ ਕਿਉਂ ਲੜ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਔਰ ਕਿਹੜੇ ਮੁੱਦੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਆ ਉਹ ਇਹ ਅੱਗੇ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਉਣਗੇ ਔਰ ਜੇ ਅਲਬਰਟਾ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵਾਈਲਡ ਰੋਜ਼ ਦੀ ਗਵਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ ਉਹ ਕੀ ਕਰੇਗੀ। ਸੋ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਹੀ ਸਵਾਲਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਆਓ ਸਵਾਗਤ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਵਾਈਲਡ ਰੋਜ਼ ਦੀ ਕੈਲਗਰੀ ਵੈਸਟ ਤੋਂ ਕੈਂਡੀਡੇਟ ਸ਼ੀਲਾ ਟੇਲਰ। Sheila, I would like to welcome you on behalf of my team and our channel.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm really pleased to be here with you today.
Yeah, you have been here before too, but that was as a Calgary Board of Education trustee.
That's right.
Yeah.
I remember we had a great talk that day, and it's nice to be back.
And I congratulate you for running as an MLA now.
Thank you.
How's the feeling actually?
It's really exciting. This by-election came as quite a surprise to me, and I think many people in Calgary when the MLA stepped down there a couple of weeks ago. So it was a quick decision to run, and I couldn't be more excited because there are a lot of issues in Calgary West, and I feel like definitely coming from the school board, the educational concerns that the residents have there, I feel I'll be able to serve them very well. And there's a lot of issues otherwise, and I'm really excited about getting in there, learning about it, and then hopefully serving those residents in the future as an MLA.
Yeah, sure. So if you, as a normal human being or as a Calgarian, why do you think you should run for MLA?
Why should I do it, or why should anybody do it?
I mean, I'll ask you because you're in the chair now.
So, I have to say I have a business background. So I started my career in business. I worked in the oil industry for Imperial Oil for almost 10 years, and I really enjoyed that experience. But I'll tell you, there's nothing like public service. And I was a school board trustee for 4 years. I went through 2 elections. And once you get in the business of serving the public, of doing good for people, of helping them with their problems, there's no going back. And so for me, I'm looking forward to moving up, you might say, in some respects, to really providing that next level of service to the public. And as an MLA, I think you have the opportunity to really make a difference on those big issues people care about, whether it's healthcare, social services, education, infrastructure. Those are the big issues that are really affecting people's lives. So, it's an honor to run, but it would be an even bigger honor to get elected and serve.
Yes, definitely. If I ask, what would be your agenda for these by-elections?
What would you mean, my agenda, platform?
Platform, basically.
So really, I went into this wanting to understand what the concerns of the community were. I didn't come in with any preconceived notions of what would be important to them. It's really about listening to people. And since the election writ was dropped, they say, I have been out there 8 to 10 hours a day knocking on doors. I've knocked on thousands of doors. And I hear the same things over and over again from people. I hear worries about education, about the lack of schools in Calgary West and all over Calgary. All the schools in Calgary West are over 100% full. And so that means children are going to school in the library instead of a classroom. Children are taking classes in the gymnasium rather than running around the gymnasium. So we need to get schools built. Schools have been promised by the PCs, and they never get around to building them. And so I think we need to make sure that gets done. We need to push very hard, advocate strongly for those people in Calgary West to ensure they have schools for their children. That's number one. Number 2, I would say, is healthcare. It's education and health, right, that really make a difference in our lives. And people are very concerned about the healthcare system. Both the staff that work in healthcare and are frustrated at what they see as constant change and their inability to really make good decisions and give good care to patients. And then you talk to the users of our system, the patients, and many of them have really bad stories to tell.
Yes, definitely.
They have a lot of bad stories to tell. And seniors, so many seniors are worried about what's going to happen to them when they need health care. So then I would say the third issue is always tax dollars. And that's no surprise. I'm used to that on the school board. It's always about the tax dollars. And people are tired of seeing the scandals, over and over again, whether or not it's Sky Palaces, whether or not it's expense accounts, because these aren't just stories in the newspaper. Whenever we're taking money and putting it in one place, it means we can't put those tax dollars where they're really needed, right? Whether it's, supporting seniors or social services, right? And so that's basically what I'm hearing. And I couldn't agree more with Calgarians that those are important issues.
So what is different between you and a PC candidate in Calgary West?
I don't spend too much time with the PC candidate right now. I'm too busy knocking on doors. Here's what I would say. I try not to put people down, right? Because I think that you've got to be sort of soft on people and hard on policies and hard on principles and hard on public record. And so that's where I would go to. I would say the PC party itself has a really bad record. We saw that through the Redford government, and we see it continuing on today. So what I would say is in me that Calgary West would have someone that I think they could put their trust in, because I think they've lost trust in the government. They would have someone who would work very hard for them and who would advocate in some of those key areas. And I am hearing around schools. That's my background, so I know how to get the job done there. I would be a strong advocate, and I would raise my voice up for those people in Calgary West and ensure they got the representation they needed.
Yeah, definitely. We would definitely want that. And I think most of the residents of Calgary West would want that, because there is a change that is needed. Everyone's saying that there's a change that's needed.
Yeah.
And if you talk about the previous some incidents, whether that was Redford or even now it's continuing. If we talk about the severances amount that was paid.
Yeah.
So what do you think that those severance amount is too much, and how do you think that Wild Rose Party would be able to manage or get a check on those severance amounts?
Well, I think that the public is, and I don't think disgust is too strong a word. I think there's just public disgust around bonuses for public servants and around severances, because if like you yourself, if you left your job, I doubt that you'd get a $500,000 paycheck as you walked out the door. So people who are trying to balance their budgets in their own homes and are figuring out how to put their child in hockey while still affording to pay the mortgage, this is abhorrent to those individuals. So the Wild Rose would actually place very strong limits on bonuses and would roll back all these severances and put a stop to those practices, because I don't think they're necessary. And I think that we see over and over again that those are they're just throwing tax dollars down the drain. And these are the types of things that I hear over and over again from people in their daily lives, that they know that's not what they would get at their workplace, and they expect the same. In fact, I think they expect better from their government.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
A lot of tax amounts, tax dollars are just going the drain, as you said. If we talk about something more, yesterday, Wild Rose Party announced that they'll take off the mandatory school fees if they comes into power.
Yeah.
Now, the thing is, why is that needed, or why is that so important?
Yeah, I mean, I know that one on so many levels. I mean, even as a parent myself, I pay hundreds of dollars myself in school fees, and parents all around Calgary and Alberta are paying school fees. I think fundamentally it comes down to what public education is all about. And I think public education should be accessible to everyone, not just those who can afford it. And it's become almost a luxury in some places, because parents are struggling to pay those. You would not have to search far to find a parent, say, with 3 or 4 children who's paying $1,500 every September to go to public school. So I think eliminating mandatory fees, it makes so much sense. It's a way to support families. It's a way to ensure that public education is truly accessible to people. And I think it's about removing that burden from parents that really should never have been there in the first place. We've seen from the PC government over and over again a lot of talk around school fees, around working with school boards, but school boards aren't left with much choice around charging those fees. We already have large class sizes. We already have cutbacks all over the place. School boards now, they have to charge those fees, otherwise it will mean the classrooms will suffer. And so by offering that relief, to parents. It's additional funding for school boards, and it will, I think, across the board provide relief to parents and peace of mind that they can send their children to school without breaking the bank.
But that adds up to like around $50 million a year.
I think it was about 85 was between 85 and probably 100. Those are the numbers that the government of Alberta has been saying, and we don't really dispute them. I think my experience would say that's probably a pretty fair number. In the grand scheme of things, the Wildrose has looked at the provincial budget. There are lots of ways to find savings in the provincial government, whether or not it's reducing corporate welfare, whether or not it's going to what you talked around bonuses and severances, and even doing a better job around these expense accounts that we see. I mean, even right there, that's probably, $500 million worth of savings, around $500 million, those three things I mentioned. And imagine if Wildrose was in power, if we could really get into the books of government, I know that we would find even more places. Because it's not always about spending more, it's about spending right. It's about putting those tax dollars in the right places.
But if you look at the level of education in Alberta, it's way below compared to all other provinces in Canada. What do you say about that?
What do you mean the level of education?
I mean, the amount people have to spend to send their children to school is much higher in Alberta than
Yeah, and it's funny because quite often when I was on the school board, I would hear from people who had moved from Ontario, and they arrived from Ontario where there are absolutely no fees whatsoever, and are just so shocked at the level of fees that people pay here. It's legal to charge fees in Alberta, whereas it's not in a lot of other provinces. So I think we always have to kind of go back to the fundamentals about what's best for our society, and we know that an educated person who is healthy, will give back to society in a variety of ways. And it just makes so much sense to ensure that families are supported and that there are absolutely no barriers to sending your child to school.
In recent times, the school spaces have been empty for so long. And I met you at one of those announcements made by Wildrose. But those spaces have been empty for so long, and then recently we heard that Jim Prentice government, they scrapped the previous plan to develop the schools, and now they have announced another plan to develop 50 to 60 new schools.
55, I think, yeah.
So those, do you think those plans will just be the plans, and would there be any action on those plans?
I hope there's action. I mean, I'm kind of laughing because every couple of weeks we hear a new plan, right? And it's more schools or different schools, and it feels like there's not a lot of planning going on in school planning, right? And it's not funny because there's a dire need. We have 5,000 new students that come into Calgary schools every single year. And those students need schools. Both the Catholic School Board and the Public School Board, the schools are extremely full. So we need to see that move ahead. The problem is with all of this announcing, the government's really good at announcing schools. They're not so good at actually building schools. And that's what Calgarians need. They need to see these schools constructed. They need to see the doors open, and they need classrooms for their children. We've had announcements coming forward since 2012 in this city for schools. We have never seen one school break ground. And so we need to move forward on that. We need to stop just hearing hollow announcements and seeing real action around construction for Calgary students.
Yeah, definitely. So, ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਹੋ ਰਹੀਆਂ ਇੱਕ ਸਮਾਂ ਹੋ ਚਲਾ ਛੋਟੇ ਜਿਹੇ ਬ੍ਰੇਕ ਦਾ ਜੀ ਮਿਲਦੇ ਆ ਇੱਕ ਛੋਟੇ ਜਿਹੇ ਬ੍ਰੇਕ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਔਰ ਬ੍ਰੇਕ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਦਾ ਸਿਲਸਿਲਾ ਉਹ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਹੀ ਜਾਰੀ ਰਹੇਗਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਹੋਰ ਸਵਾਲਾਤ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਵਾਂਗੇ ਸੋ ਮਿਲਦੇ ਆ ਇੱਕ ਛੋਟੇ ਜਿਹੇ ਬ੍ਰੇਕ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਚਕਦੇ ਟੀਵੀ ਦੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਦਰਸ਼ਕਾਂ ਦਾ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਫਿਰ ਸਵਾਗਤ ਹੈ ਸਾਡੇ ਸ਼ੋਅ 1 ਆਵਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ। ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਅੱਜ ਮੌਜੂਦ ਨੇ ਕੈਲਗਰੀ ਵੈਸਟ ਤੋਂ ਵਾਈਲਡ ਰੋਜ਼ ਦੇ ਕੈਂਡੀਡੇਟ ਸ਼ੀਲਾ ਟੇਲਰ। ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ, ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿਊਜ਼ ਜਾਣ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ, ਕਿਉਂ ਇਹ ਇਲੈਕਸ਼ਨਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਖੜੇ ਹੋਏ ਨੇ ਔਰ ਕੀ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਪਲੇਟਫਾਰਮ ਹੈ, ਕਿਹੜੇ ਮੁੱਦੇ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਇਹ ਅੱਗੇ ਆ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਔਰ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਰੁਖ ਹੈ ਉਹਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਕੀ ਕਮੈਂਟ ਨੇ, ਉਹ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਬਾਰੇ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਹੋ ਰਹੀ ਆ। ਸੋ ਆਓ ਅੱਗੇ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਦਾ ਦੌਰ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਚੱਲਦੇ ਹਾਂ। So Sheila, we talked about the schools.
Yes.
And Jim Prentice recently announced about $2 billion plan to develop schools for the next 10 years. Do you think the amount $2 billion is enough for the 10 years?
Well, the Wild Rose also has a $2 billion plan, but we would actually spread it out over a fewer number of years, over around 4 years, right? So I think that it doesn't sound like enough in the short period of time that we need to get going on schools because of some of the rapid growth that I talked about. You know, in Calgary alone, 5,000 new students every year. I mean, if you think about that, that's about 12 elementary schools a year. So it's a lot. And other parts of this province are also growing very rapidly, Edmonton, up north. And so there's a real need, and I don't think that the need can wait that long. We do need to be strategic about school construction. You know, in Calgary here, we went 5 straight years with no school announcements. Yes. And it was waiting and plans submitted and then nothing announced. So that's a big problem, right? And that now we find ourselves so behind the 8 ball and with these huge dollar announcements that are needed. But it just would have been so much more effective and efficient to spread them out over the last few years. So we'll see. I'd like to see real action on school construction, not just pledges for new schools.
No, my question was that is $2 billion enough for 10 years?
I don't. I mean, the Wild Rose plan would have $2 billion over a much shorter period of time, over about half of a decade, right? So no, I don't think that's enough. I don't think that's going to be enough to meet the needs for an entire 10-year period. I mean, unless we saw Alberta's economy decline significantly. But, you know, by all accounts, oil price dip aside, I think our economy is doing very well and that we should continue to plan for growth in Alberta.
You mentioned about the oil. So right now, Alberta's economy only depends on oil. If oil prices goes high, Alberta economy grows. Yeah. But if it goes down, economy goes down. So is there anything that Wild Rose Party is planning to do in Alberta that will take the focus from the oil to something else that will make Alberta stable in the economy?
You're absolutely right. Oil price dips affect the economy. I mean, to the tune of, $1 dip in oil prices is about $200 million in the budget every $1. Yes. So it's a massive impact that it has. I think a lot of it comes down to, you know, improved diversification of our economy, and we've seen in other parts of the world where that's been very effective. We have to reduce our reliance on the oil industry in Alberta. We've been saying that for a long time in Alberta. I was born and raised here, but I think you have to take real steps. You have to create an environment where businesses can flourish, where other types of businesses can flourish if we're going to have that diversification. But I think as well, we need better budgeting practices in the province of Alberta because it always seems that we're planning for these oil prices that you know, I don't know that they're particularly realistic. And then we find ourselves, you know, facing deficits. So I think cracking open the budget and improving budget practices as well would go a long way towards ensuring that we don't find ourselves constantly on this roller coaster ride.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, because the public sector can't go on a roller coaster ride. People are going to be sick. Kids are going to go to school. We're going to drive on the roads. And so we need that consistency around planning and around our revenue system in Alberta.
So is there any particular plan Wild Rose has in mind apart from the oil industry?
Well, I would say, you know, the Wild Rose is a really a fiscally conservative party, right? And so for us, we do want to absolutely work with businesses in this province to ensure that we can reduce our reliance just on that industry. And it's not an easy task, right? But we've seen that done well in other provinces. I think New Brunswick is a good example where diversification in industry did did really help their economy. So it's possible. And then we've seen in other places like Ontario where they didn't take those steps and reduce their reliance, say, on the manufacturing industry, and they suffered. So it's all part of that. But I think at the core, it's also about effective budgeting and effective planning. And we haven't really been good at that in Alberta. Maybe it's because of the wealth that we haven't been forced to. But I would also say that when you have a government in power for 43 years, they get a little bit complacent about being effective planners, about being effective stewards of our tax dollars.
If we talk about the oil industry, the industry won't last for long. Is there any long-term planning?
Well, I think industry in itself, recognizes that it needs to change over time. And I told you before that I sort of started my career in the oil industry. And I think around industry, it's about their future, but it's also about the environment. And so the Wildrose is very much looking at ensuring that we protect our environment as we move forward. And there's a few things that we need to focus on. Certainly CO2. Emissions need to be reduced. We need to honor international agreements around emissions. That's critical as we move forward. We've had many instances in the past of issues with tailings ponds in this province, and we need to make sure that technologies are developed, and they are being developed to eliminate tailings ponds completely, so we can ensure that our environment is protected. As well, with the oil industry, there are a lot of barriers to transportation of our products, whether it's in or out. And in order to remove those barriers, I think we really have to improve ourselves as players on the international scene. So a lot of that does involve working with our partners in the United States and the Middle East, the big oil players in Cuba, Venezuela, to ensure that we have effective transportation of our products, because that's one of the very big issues that we have. One thing that the Wildrose would like to see is actually an energy corridor that's set aside, because what we find now is that you want to build, but then there's maybe one link in the pipeline or one link in the puzzle that is missing. And I think it's a really great idea to work to have an energy corridor, lands that are set aside for a variety of infrastructure, including energy, so that it's there and that it's ready. Industry has changed a lot, even in the last 20 years. It used to be all about oil wells, right?
Yes.
That's a kind of a symbol of Alberta is an oil well. Well, you don't see as many oil wells anymore, right? So the industry changes over time. The products that they use and how they refine them changes over time. And so as we increase our reliance on the oil sands and refining those products, I think we just have to make sure that the government, provides the necessary tools to help that growth continue and that change in industry continue, because you're right, it doesn't last forever, but it has a bright future as long as we change along with it and support the environment as we make those changes.
You mentioned about the environment. Is there any plans to develop renewable sources of energy in Alberta?
Yeah, you know what? That's a good question, and I will tell you, I was out door knocking the other day, and I ran into two people in wind production, and so I had some really good conversations about the challenges of being a wind producer, basically, and some of the hardships about staying in business. And luckily enough, I was out door knocking with Danielle Smith that night, and I talked to her. I said, what do we think about wind production? What do we think about other renewables? And she always impresses me. I think she impresses a lot of people. And she said, I absolutely think that that's an area that we probably need to look at more, that we probably need to talk to local producers and get their ideas around renewables. I think it's an area of growth in Alberta. There's not a huge amount of policy around it right now, but it'll be one of those cases where you need to work with the producers, you need to work with the public to ensure that we're providing an environment where those businesses can flourish over the long term, for sure.
Okay, so let's switch to the healthcare now.
Sure.
We have heard from many people that say that healthcare in Alberta is on the verge of collapse. What do you, if you think that, and why do you think that?
I'm pretty careful about the words I use. I probably wouldn't say that because I wouldn't want to scare people in this province, right? The people that I'm out talking to, I think they deserve, they deserve the straight facts. In Alberta, we spend more on healthcare than anyone else. And when you look at our outcomes, meaning, emergency room wait times, care, the levels of care, we don't have very good outcomes in the province of Alberta. And I read an interesting quote this morning on Twitter, actually, out of Catherine McDonald, our candidate in Foothills, and she said, we have first world knowledge, and we have, third world healthcare.
Yes.
And so we need to improve healthcare for sure. One of the most interesting things that I've learned learned from my door knocking is from all the conversations I've been having with healthcare workers. Because there are many. There's 115,000 healthcare workers in the province of Alberta. And, they seem stressed. They seem like they have very low morale. And I talked to them about why, and they just feel like they can't provide the care that they want to provide, that they have been trained to provide. So you talk to nurses, they just want to do a good job. They want to do a good job for their patients. But we have clogged emergency rooms. We have the wrong kinds of care beds in this province. And as we get more announcements for care beds, even over the last couple of days, they're not the right types of beds. They're not the right types of beds to address the issues that we have in healthcare. So healthcare does need a major fix. This is not minor tweaks like 100 healthcare beds here. This is a real structural changes that are needed. What the Wildrose would like to see, for starters, is those frontline workers, the nurses, the doctors, the x-ray technicians, having the ability to do their jobs. So give them more power to make decisions. If you needed an x-ray on your knee and you needed an x-ray on your shoulder, why can't that person just do all that at the same time? Right now they're filling out separate paperwork, they're doing separate tests, they're sending that paperwork in. They're not even empowered to give you both those tests on the same day. It's simple things like that are hurting our morale and that are actually hurting patients every day. So, for the money we spend, we need to be doing better. It's about fixing the little things around helping support our workers, but it's also about fixing the big things and putting all that money where it needs to be spent in healthcare.
And do you think the number of doctors or nurses or healthcare professionals we have is enough to support the system right now?
We hear over and over again that there are a lot of staff shortages, and I think part of the problem is that in Alberta, with our booming economy, that we have a hard time getting the workers that we need. So education is one of the big ways to address some of those staff shortages. The Wildrose really does want to support ensuring that our post-secondary institutions are able to educate people in the areas that we really need to have workers, because that's a big part of the problem.
Yes.
Even around home care, it's hard to find home care support workers to fill the jobs. So that's part of the systemic problem. I think we could do more as well about working with our federal government partners around ensuring we have, people coming from other countries to do these jobs. But immigration is a federal issue, but it doesn't mean that we shouldn't be working with the federal government to make sure that can happen.
So PC government recently announced that they'll be dealing with the federal government and asking for more percentage of immigration for Alberta.
Yeah.
And is there any plan by Wildrose as well?
Well, I was on a town hall with Danielle Smith last night, and we had a big town hall where we called all the people in my riding and said, hey, ask us questions on the phone. And it was wonderful. And Danielle talked about that exact thing last night, about how it's going to be so important to work with federal immigration to ensure that Alberta's needs are met, because it is a federal matter, but it affects us so much as a province. And if there's one thing I've learned in politics over the years, it's about cooperative relationships, because you don't just do things on your own, right?
Yes.
As an MLA, all of us, we have to work with our cities effectively. We have to work with our school boards. We have to work with opposition parties. We have to work with the federal government. We have to work on the international stage. And it's about that collaboration and cooperation that can help us move forward. And the federal government, immigration, is no exception. We need them to work with us. We need them to understand what our needs are, so that we aren't having problems in our province that are unnecessary. And immigration is one of those areas, making sure that we have the people that we need for those jobs that need filling in Alberta.
Recently, federal government's decision to take back the temporary foreign worker program, that hurt a lot of businesses in Alberta.
Yeah.
And it's not just one field, it's some of the tourism industry in Alberta also gets affected by this.
Yeah.
And is there any plans that are being developed, or what is your stance on this?
I have to say, it's shocking when you go around Calgary to different businesses, whether or not it's a retail business or whether it's a service business, whatever it is. It's shocking how many help wanted signs you see. You see them absolutely everywhere in Calgary. And I'm sure that we're no exception, that other cities that are growing and booming are also experiencing those labor shortages. So I think that we absolutely do need to be working with the federal government, as I said, to ensure that that we're getting those folks that we need to come work here in Alberta, because to see jobs unfilled, it's a missed opportunity both for that person that could have done that work, and I'm sure done it willingly and happily, and it's also for us Albertans that require services and support. So I think it's an important area to address for sure, and I think that one of the most wonderful things about Calgary and the province of Alberta is the diversity that we have here.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So ਸਮਾਂ ਚਲੇ ਇੱਕ ਛੋਟੇ ਜਿਹੇ ਬ੍ਰੇਕ ਦਾ, ਪਰ ਬ੍ਰੇਕ ਤੇ ਜਾਣ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਦਰਸ਼ਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਦੱਸ ਦਈਏ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਵੀ ਸ਼ੀਲਾ ਟੇਲਰ ਜੀ ਨਾਲ ਸਾਡੀ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਹੋਈ ਆ, ਉਹ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਥੋੜ੍ਹੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਟਰਾਂਸਲੇਟ ਕਰਕੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਦੱਸਾਂਗੇ। ਪਰ ਫਿਲਹਾਲ ਇੱਕ ਛੋਟਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਬ੍ਰੇਕ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਬ੍ਰੇਕ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਅਸੀਂ ਥੋੜ੍ਹੇ ਜਿਹੇ ਹੋਰ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਸਵਾਲਾਤ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਬਾਰੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਸ਼ੀਲਾ ਟੇਲਰ ਜੀ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ। ਸੋ ਮਿਲਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਇੱਕ ਛੋਟੇ ਜਿਹੇ ਬ੍ਰੇਕ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ। ਬੈਸਟ ਬਾਏ ਫਰਨੀਚਰ ਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਕੁਝ ਅਨੋਖਾ ਸੋਚਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਤੇ ਵੱਖਰਾ ਬਣਾਉਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਸੁਪਨਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਮਹਿਲ ਲਈ ਫਰਨੀਚਰ ਦੀ ਇੱਕ ਅਜਿਹੀ ਕਲੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਜੋ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕਿਤੇ ਹੋਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਿਲੇਗੀ। ਸ਼ਾਨਦਾਰ, ਮਜ਼ਬੂਤ ਤੇ ਆਰਾਮਦਾਇਕ ਫਰਨੀਚਰ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਦੇ ਆਰਾਮਦਾਇਕ ਪਲਾਂ ਲਈ। ਬੈਸਟ ਬਾਏ ਫਰਨੀਚਰ, the perfect homemaker. Finance available for 6 months with 0% interest. Call 403-250-6661 403 250 6661। ਚੱਕਦੇ ਟੀਵੀ ਦੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਦਰਸ਼ਕਾਂ ਦਾ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਫਿਰ ਸਵਾਗਤ ਹੈ ਸਾਡੇ ਸ਼ੋਅ 1 ਆਵਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ। ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਅੱਜ ਮੌਜੂਦ ਨੇ ਕੈਲਗਰੀ ਵੈਸਟ ਤੋਂ ਵਾਈਲਡ ਰੋਜ਼ ਦੇ ਕੈਂਡੀਡੇਟ ਸ਼ੀਲਾ ਟੇਲਰ। ਸੋ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿਊ ਜਾਣ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਕੀ ਨਵਾਂ ਚੇਂਜ ਉਹ ਅਲਬਰਟਾ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਉਣਗੇ। ਵਾਈਲਡ ਰੋਜ਼ ਪਾਰਟੀ ਅਗਰ ਪਾਵਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਆ ਤੇ ਉਹ ਕੀ ਚੇਂਜਸ, ਕੀ ਨਵਾਂ ਅਲਬਰਟਾ ਨੂੰ ਦੇਣਾ ਚਾਹੁਣਗੇ। ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਵਾਲਾਤ ਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਜਵਾਬ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਮਿਲ ਰਹੇ ਆ, ਔਰ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਮੁੱਦੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਉਠਾਏ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਆ ਉਹ ਅਸੀਂ ਸ਼ੀਲਾ ਟੇਲਰ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਅੱਗੇ ਰੱਖ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ। ਸੋ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਦਾ ਦੌਰ ਹੁਣ ਅਸੀਂ ਅਖੀਰਲੇ ਪਾਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਅਤੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਵੋਟਾਂ ਆ ਉਹ ਕਦੋਂ ਆ। ਪਰ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਸ਼ੀਲਾ, what's your stance on the debate? Would you want to go for a debate with all the other candidates of your riding?
I absolutely would be willing and able to have a forum or a debate. I've talked to so many people in the riding. I've talked to you today about the issues that are faced out there. These are real issues, and people have questions, and I think they deserve answers. I've run for office. This is my 3rd time. I've always participated in debates and forums because it's a way to ensure that people get their questions answered, that the issues are on the table, and that it's all done in public.
Yes.
I mean, that's part of it, right? Being willing to put yourself on the record. So what I would say to the other candidates, I know, Mr. Ellis in the PC camp, he has so far said he will not come and he will not attend. I would say, please come, because I think the people of Calgary West deserve that. They deserve to have the candidates available to them, and I'm ready, willing, and able.
That's really nice. But if I talk about, you mentioned about the PC candidate. Last night I was at one of the debates, and Jim Prentice didn't show up. And what do you think about that?
I just think if you're running in an election that you have to make yourself available for these things. Now, in these by-elections, there's only one debate for each of them. So it's not like there's 30 of them and you make 28 of them. We're talking about one event, and the organizers have been very flexible. You know, my understanding in Foothills was that they were given, you know, up to 20 options for a time of a debate. So to say you're not available, I think you have to be flexible. You have to make yourself available. I know that I am, and I think it's important. I'm still hopeful that we're going to have a debate in Calgary West. We've got about a week and a half left to go. And so let's get ourselves out there. Let's have the candidates interact with each other so that people can make an informed decision as to who they want to be their MLA.
Yeah, definitely, because public need those answers from their candidates.
You bet.
So let's go to the ending now. When are these elections, and what would you say to the public?
What would I say? Elections coming fast. October 27th is election day. And if you can't make October 27th, there's advanced voting from October 22nd to 25th. So please get out there. You know, in a general election, you get pretty good turnout from the public. In a by-election, the turnout is really low. So what I say to people sometimes is that your voice counts more than ever in a by-election, because there's so few people that go. Your vote makes an even bigger difference. And it's really common for election outcomes to be a matter of a handful of votes. So if people have concerns, if people have issues, your vote is your voice. And I hope that people will take this opportunity, if they're concerned, to send a message, certainly in Calgary West, that they want change. And I hope that they would vote for me as their MLA.
Yeah, definitely, we'll want that, and we'll wish you all the best.
Thank you.
You have answered the questions really well, and there were many answers that were not clear to me, but now I think people can make their decision based on all the discussion we have seen, all the discussion we have heard. The thing that are not clear to the public, they can make their decision well, and based on the debates, like the last night, people really had questions why the PC candidate didn't show up. So all the other candidates did manage really well, and we would want your debate as well. So we wish you all the best once again, and we'll love to see you in Alberta's parliament.
Oh, well, thank you. That's very nice. Very nice. I really appreciate you having me out here. You know, it's always a pleasure to see you, and I appreciate the invitation to come very much.
Thanks a lot. And what would be your last message to our viewers?
It would be, please get out and vote.
So ਬਹੁਤ ਥੋੜਾ ਮਾਰਜਨਲ ਡਿਫਰੈਂਸ ਰਹਿ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਜਦੋਂ ਬਾਈ ਇਲੈਕਸ਼ਨਸ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਥੋੜੇ ਮਾਰਜਨ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕੈਂਡੀਡੇਟਸ ਉਹ ਜਿੱਤ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ ਸੋ all the candidates that are running for these elections want you to come and vote, because the margin is really less. So to decrease, or I would say increase that margin, not decrease that margin, increase the margin of the winning votes, and come out and vote. So ਅਸੀਂ ਇਸ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਸ਼ੀਲਾ ਟੇਲਰ ਜੀ ਦਾ, ਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਫਿਰ ਕੰਗ੍ਰੈਚੁਲੇਟ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਔਰ ਬੈਸਟ ਆਫ ਲੱਕ ਵਿਸ਼ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਇਲੈਕਸ਼ਨਸ ਆ ਬਾਈ ਇਲੈਕਸ਼ਨਸ ਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵਧੀਆ ਜੋ ਕਾਰਗੁਜ਼ਾਰੀ ਉਹ ਕਰਨ ਔਰ ਜਿੱਤ ਕੇ ਉਹ ਅਲਬਰਟਾ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵਾਈਲਡ ਰੋਜ਼ ਪਾਰਟੀ ਦੇ ਕੈਂਡੀਡੇਟ ਬਣਨ. Once again, I would like to congratulate you and wish you all the best, and we hope to see you in Albertan Parliament.
Thank you very much.
Welcome. And on behalf of my channel and my team, I would like to thank you for coming here, taking out the time to discuss all the issues, all the questions, and thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to be here.
You're welcome. ਸੋ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਅੱਜ ਮੌਜੂਦ ਸਨ ਸ਼ੀਲਾ ਟੇਲਰ ਜੀ, ਜੋ ਕਿ ਵਾਈਲਡ ਰੋਜ਼ ਦੇ ਕੈਲਗਰੀ ਵੈਸਟ ਤੋਂ ਕੈਂਡੀਡੇਟ ਨੇ. ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਹੋਈ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਦੀ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਟਰਾਂਸਲੇਸ਼ਨ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ ਹਾਜ਼ਰ ਹਾਂ. ਅਸੀਂ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਵੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਸਵਾਲਾਂ ਦੇ ਜਵਾਬ ਦਿੱਤੇ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਦਰਸ਼ਕਾਂ ਤੱਕ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਹੁੰਚਾਈਏ। ਪਰ ਮੈਂ ਸਿਰਫ ਇੱਕ ਓਵਰਵਿਊ, ਇੱਕ ਮੋਟਾ ਜੋ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਉਹ ਆਪਣੇ ਦਰਸ਼ਕਾਂ ਅੱਗੇ ਰੱਖਣਾ ਚਾਹੂੰਗਾ ਕਿ ਜੋ ਵੀ ਕੁਐਸਚਨ ਮੈਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਅੱਗੇ ਰੱਖੇ ਸੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਅਨੁਸਾਰ ਸ਼ੀਲਾ ਟੇਲਰ ਜੋ ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਦੌਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਿਸਟਮ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਮੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਦੂਰ ਕਰਨ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਉਹ ਇਲੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਖੜੀ ਹੋਏ ਨੇ। ਜੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰੀਏ ਕਿ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਕੈਂਡੀਡੇਟ ਇਸ ਸਮੇਂ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਉਹ ਖੜੇ ਨੇ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਅਗੇਂਸਟ ਵੀ ਖੜੇ ਨੇ, ਤੋ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਦਾ ਕੀ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਲੋਕ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਵੋਟ ਕਰਨ। ਤਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਇੱਕ ਤਾਂ ਆਇਲ ਇੰਡਸਟਰੀ ਨਾਲ ਰਿਲੇਟਡ ਨੇ, ਦੂਜਾ ਉਹ 2 ਵਾਰੀ ਕੈਲਗਰੀ ਸਕੂਲ ਬੋਰਡ ਆਫ ਕੈਲਗਰੀ ਸਕੂਲ ਬੋਰਡ ਆਫ ਐਜੂਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ 2 ਵਾਰੀ ਟਰਸਟੀ ਰਹਿ ਚੁੱਕੇ ਨੇ। 2 ਵਾਰੀ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਵੀ ਇਲੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹ ਖੜੇ ਹੋ ਚੁੱਕੇ ਨੇ ਔਰ ਇਹ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਜਿਹੇ ਹੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਰਿਜ਼ਾਈਨ ਕੀਤਾ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਉਹ ਹੁਣ MLA ਦੇ ਲਈ ਰਨ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਸੀ। ਸੋ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਮੁੱਦੇ ਨੇ ਛੋਟੇ ਤੋਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਵੱਡੇ ਤੱਕ, ਜੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਇੱਕ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਲਈਏ ਤਾਂ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੀ ਮੁਸ਼ਕਲਾਤ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਹੱਲ ਕਰਨ ਦੇ ਲਈ, ਔਰ ਜੇ ਵੱਡੇ ਲੈਵਲ 'ਤੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਇੰਡਸਟਰੀ ਲੈਵਲ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰੀਏ ਤਾਂ ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਵੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਆ ਉਹ ਸ਼ੀਲਾ ਟੇਲਰ ਜੀ ਨੂੰ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ। ਅਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਅਨੁਸਾਰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਵੱਡੀਆਂ ਕੰਪਨੀਆਂ ਨਾਲ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਕੇ ਦੇਖਿਆ ਔਰ ਜੋ ਮਜ਼ਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇੱਕ ਸੋਸ਼ਲ ਸਰਵਿਸ ਜਾਂ ਜਨਤਾ ਦੀ ਸੇਵਾ ਕਰਕੇ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਉਹ ਹੋਰ ਕਿਤੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਉਂਦਾ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਉਹ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਕੈਲਗਰੀ ਸਕੂਲ ਬੋਰਡ ਆਫ ਐਜੂਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਟਰਸਟੀ ਰਹਿ ਚੁੱਕੇ ਨੇ। ਬਹੁਤ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸੀਮਿਤ ਸਮਾਂ ਸੀਗਾ ਸਾਡੀ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਦਾ, ਪਰ ਫਿਰ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਕੁਛ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਿਆ। ਜੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰੀਏ ਕਿ ਸਕੂਲਾਂ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ, ਜਿਹੜੀ PC ਗਵਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਨੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਸਕੂਲ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਅਨਾਊਂਸ ਕਰ ਦਿੱਤੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਰੈਡਫੋਰਡ ਦੇ ਟਾਈਮ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਸਕੂਲਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਹੁਣ ਉਹ ਪ੍ਰੋਜੈਕਟ ਨੂੰ ਬੰਦ ਕਰਕੇ ਹੁਣ PC ਗਵਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਨੇ ਨਵੇਂ ਸਿਰੇ ਤੋਂ ਨਵੇਂ ਸਕੂਲਾਂ ਦਾ ਐਲਾਨ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੈ। 55 ਨਵੇਂ ਸਕੂਲ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਆ ਉਹ ਬਣਨ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ। ਹੁਣ ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਜਵਾਬ ਸੀਗਾ ਕਿ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਉਮੀਦ ਜਤਾਈ ਜਾ ਰਹੀ ਆ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਸਕੂਲ ਬਣਨਗੇ, ਪਰ ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਰੈਡਫੋਰਡ ਦੇ ਸਮੇਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੋਇਆ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਸਕੂਲਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਜ਼ਮੀਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਬੋਰਡ ਲਗਾ ਦਿੱਤੇ ਗਏ ਪਰ ਉੱਥੇ ਸਕੂਲ ਕੋਈ ਬਣਿਆ ਨਹੀਂ। ਖੈਰ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਦੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਹੋਰ ਮੁੱਦੇ ਵੀ ਨੇ ਸਕੂਲਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਲੈ ਕੇ, ਐਜੂਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਨੂੰ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮੁੱਦਾ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਬਹੁਤ ਵੱਡਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇਸ ਟਾਈਮ ਬਣਿਆ ਹੋਇਆ। ਇਸ ਤੋਂ ਇਲਾਵਾ ਜਿਮ ਪ੍ਰੈਂਟਿਸ ਵੱਲੋਂ $2 ਬਿਲੀਅਨ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਆ ਉਹ ਅਮਾਊਂਟ ਰੱਖਿਆ ਗਿਆ ਹੈ, ਉਹ ਅਗਲੇ 10 ਸਾਲਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਕੂਲਾਂ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਖਰਚ ਹੋਣਾ। ਪਰ ਵਾਈਲਡ ਰੋਜ਼ ਦੇ ਅਨੁਸਾਰ ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ $2 ਬਿਲੀਅਨ ਦਾ ਪੈਸਾ ਆ, ਇਹ 10 ਸਾਲਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਨਹੀਂ, ਘੱਟ ਤੋਂ ਘੱਟ ਇਹ ਅੱਧੇ ਸਮੇਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਆ ਉਹ ਖਰਚ ਹੋਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ। ਸੋ 5 ਸਾਲਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ $2 ਬਿਲੀਅਨ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਆ ਉਹ ਸਕੂਲਾਂ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਖਰਚ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਆ। ਸਕੂਲਾਂ ਦੇ ਇਨਫਰਾਸਟਰਕਚਰ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ, ਸਕੂਲਾਂ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਨਵੀਆਂ ਬਣ ਰਹੀਆਂ ਇਮਾਰਤਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਪੁਰਾਣੇ ਸਕੂਲ ਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਨਵੇਂ ਸੁਧਾਰ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਔਰ ਬਿਲਡਿੰਗ ਦੀ ਮੇਨਟੇਨੈਂਸ ਦੇ ਲਈ, ਹੋਰ ਅਲੱਗ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਆ ਉਹ ਵਰਤਿਆ ਜਾਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਆ। ਇਸ ਤੋਂ ਇਲਾਵਾ ਹੈਲਥ ਕੇਅਰ ਸਿਸਟਮ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੋਈ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਹੈਲਥ ਕੇਅਰ ਸਿਸਟਮ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਲੋਕ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਉਹ ਕਹਿ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਬਹੁਤ ਬੇਕਾਰ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਨਾਲ ਚੱਲ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਸ਼ੀਲਾ ਟੇਲਰ ਦੇ ਅਨੁਸਾਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਡਰਾਉਣਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ, ਪਰ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਅਲਬਰਟਾ ਦਾ ਹੈਲਥ ਕੇਅਰ ਸਿਸਟਮ ਆ ਉਹ ਬਹੁਤ ਵਧੀਆ, ਪਰ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਹੁਤ ਵੱਡੇ ਲੈਵਲ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਸੁਧਾਰ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਆ। ਔਰ ਇਹ ਸੁਧਾਰ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਆ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ, ਇਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਇੱਕ ਪਲਾਨ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਆ ਉਹ ਬਣਾਇਆ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ। ਜੇ ਹੁਣ ਅਸੀਂ ਇੰਡਸਟਰੀ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰੀਏ ਤੇ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਜਾਣਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਅਲਬਰਟਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਆ ਉਹ ਆਇਲ ਯਾਨੀ ਕਿ ਤੇਲ ਦੇ ਇੰਡਸਟਰੀ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਨਿਰਭਰ ਕਰਦਾ ਆ। ਜੇ ਤੇਲ ਦੀ ਕੀਮਤ ਅੰਤਰਰਾਸ਼ਟਰੀ ਬਾਜ਼ਾਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੱਧਦੀ ਆ ਤੇ ਅਲਬਰਟਾ ਦੀ ਇਕੋਨਮੀ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਵੱਧ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਆ, ਵਧੀਆ ਲੈਵਲ 'ਤੇ ਪਹੁੰਚ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਆ। ਪਰ ਜੇ ਤੇਲ ਦੀ ਕੀਮਤ ਅੰਤਰਰਾਸ਼ਟਰੀ ਮਾਰਕੀਟ ਵਿੱਚ ਡਿੱਗ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਆ ਤੇ ਅਲਬਰਟਾ ਦੀ ਇਕੋਨਮੀ ਵੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆ ਉਹ ਡਿੱਗ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਆ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਜੇ $1 ਵੀ ਤੇਲ ਪਰ ਬੈਰਲ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਆ ਉਹਦੀ ਕੀਮਤ ਉਹ ਘਟ ਜਾਂਦੀ $1 ਵੀ, ਤੇ ਅਲਬਰਟਾ ਨੂੰ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਨੁਕਸਾਨ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਆ ਇਹਦਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਅੰਦਾਜ਼ਾ ਲਗਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ ਕਿ ਇੱਕ ਦਿਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਮਿਲੀਅਨਸ ਆਫ ਬੈਰਲ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਤੇਲ ਆ ਉਹ ਅਲਬਰਟਾ ਤੋਂ ਐਕਸਪੋਰਟ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਆ। ਜੇ ਉਹ ਤੇਲ ਦੀ ਕੀਮਤ ਘਟ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਆ ਤਾਂ ਉਹ ਮਿਲੀਅਨਸ ਆਫ ਡਾਲਰ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਨੁਕਸਾਨ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਅਲਬਰਟਾ ਨੂੰ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਆ। ਸੋ ਅਸੀਂ ਇੱਥੋਂ ਅੰਦਾਜ਼ਾ ਲਗਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਅਲਬਰਟਾ ਦੀ ਇਕੋਨਮੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆ ਉਹ ਕਿੰਨੀ ਨਿਰਭਰ ਕਰਦੀ ਆ ਤੇਲ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ। ਸੋ ਮੇਰਾ ਸਵਾਲ ਸੀਗਾ ਕਿ ਕੀ ਵਾਈਲਡ ਰੋਜ਼ ਪਾਰਟੀ ਅਲਬਰਟਾ ਦੇ ਤੇਲ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਨਿਰਭਰਤਾ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਖਤਮ ਕਰੇਗੀ, ਹੋਰ ਇੰਡਸਟਰੀਆਂ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਆ ਉਹ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇੱਥੇ ਡਿਵੈਲਪ ਕਰੇਗੀ? ਤਾਂ ਸ਼ੀਲਾ ਟੇਲਰ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਜਵਾਬ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਕਿ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਵੱਲੋਂ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਪਾਰਟੀ ਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਦੇ ਪਲਾਨ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਬਣਾਏ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਆ ਤਾਂ ਕਿ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਨੂੰ ਇਕੱਲਾ ਤੇਲ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਨਿਰਭਰ ਨਾ ਰਹਿਣਾ ਪਵੇ, ਔਰ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਡਿਵੈਲਪਮੈਂਟ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਆ ਹੋਰ ਇੰਡਸਟਰੀਜ਼ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਇੱਥੇ ਹੋਣੀਆਂ ਚਾਹੀਦੀਆਂ ਆ। ਇਸ ਤੋਂ ਇਲਾਵਾ ਐਨਵਾਇਰਮੈਂਟ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਆ ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ, ਉਹਦੀ ਸੰਰਕਸ਼ਣਾ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆ ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕੀਤੀ ਕਿ ਇੱਥੇ ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਸੀਗਾ ਕਿ ਇੱਥੇ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕਾਰਬਨ ਡਾਈਆਕਸਾਈਡ ਗੈਸਾਂ ਆ ਉਹ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਬਣ ਰਹੀਆਂ ਆ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਫਿਊਲ ਇੱਥੇ ਕੰਜ਼ਿਊਮ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ ਆ। ਅਤੇ ਇਸ ਤੋਂ ਇਲਾਵਾ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਥਰਮਲ ਪਲਾਂਟ ਲੱਗੇ ਹੋਏ ਆ ਇੱਥੇ, ਸੋ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇੱਕ ਪਾਸੇ ਰੱਖ ਕੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਰੀਨਿਊਏਬਲ ਸੋਰਸਿਸ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ ਦੁਬਾਰਾ ਵਰਤੇ ਜਾ ਸਕਣ ਵਾਲੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਰੋਤ ਨੇ ਜਾਂ ਕੁਦਰਤੀ ਸਰੋਤ ਨੇ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੀ ਇਸਤੇਮਾਲ ਕਰਕੇ ਕੋਈ ਪੋਲਿਊਸ਼ਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ, ਉਹ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੀ ਡਿਵੈਲਪਮੈਂਟ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆ ਉਹ ਕੀਤੀ ਜਾਊਗੀ। ਤਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਗਿਆ ਕਿ ਵਿੰਡ ਐਨਰਜੀ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਹਵਾ ਚੱਕੀਆਂ ਜਿਹਨੂੰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਉਹ ਅਲਬਰਟਾ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਲਗਾਉਣ ਦਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਪਲਾਨ ਹੈ, ਔਰ ਇਹਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਵੱਡੇ ਲੈਵਲ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਉਹ ਕੰਮ ਆ ਉਹ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਆ। ਸੋ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਹੋਰ ਸਵਾਲਾਤ ਦੇ ਜਵਾਬ ਵੀ ਦਿੱਤੇ ਆ, ਪਰ ਹੁਣ ਸਮੇਂ ਦੀ ਘਾਟ ਹੋਣ ਕਰਕੇ ਮੈਂ ਵੀ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਚੰਗੀ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਦੱਸ ਪਾਊਂਗਾ। ਪਰ ਇੱਕ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੋਰ ਸਵਾਲ ਵੱਡਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਉਹ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਡਿਬੇਟ, ਔਰ ਡਿਬੇਟ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਵਾਲ ਦਾ ਜਵਾਬ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਡਿਬੇਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਾਣਾ ਚਾਹੁਣਗੇ, ਪਰ ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਔਰਗਨਾਈਜ਼ਰ ਨੇ ਡਿਬੇਟ ਦੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ ਅਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੇ PC ਦੇ ਕੈਂਡੀਡੇਟ ਆ ਉਹ ਤਿਆਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋ ਰਹੇ ਡਿਬੇਟ ਦੇ ਲਈ। ਸੋ ਇਸੇ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਹੀ ਮੈਂ ਲਾਸਟ ਰਾਤੀ ਵੀ ਗਿਆ ਹੋਇਆ ਸੀਗਾ ਇੱਕ ਡਿਬੇਟ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਕੈਲਗਰੀ ਐਲਬੋ ਦੇ ਲਈ, ਔਰ ਮਾਫ਼ ਕਰਨਾ ਜੀ ਕੈਲਗਰੀ ਫੁੱਟ ਹਿਲਸ ਦੇ ਲਈ, ਜਿੱਥੇ ਕਿ ਕੈਥੀ ਮੈਕਡੋਨਲਡਸ ਵਾਈਲਡ ਰੋਜ਼ ਦੇ ਕੈਂਡੀਡੇਟ ਨੇ। ਉੱਥੇ ਵੀ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਜਿਮ ਪ੍ਰੈਂਟਿਸ ਨੇ ਉਹ PC ਦੇ ਕੈਂਡੀਡੇਟ ਬਣੇ ਹੋਏ ਨੇ, ਔਰ ਉਹ ਉੱਥੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਏ, ਔਰ ਇਹ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੈਰਾਨੀ ਵਾਲੀ ਗੱਲ ਸੀ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਬਾਕੀ ਸਾਰੇ ਕੈਂਡੀਡੇਟ ਉੱਥੇ ਪਹੁੰਚੇ ਹੋਏ ਸੀਗੇ, ਪਰ ਇੱਕੋ ਇੱਕ ਕੈਂਡੀਡੇਟ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਉਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ ਪਹੁੰਚੇ ਹੋਏ। ਸੋ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੈਰਾਨੀ ਵਾਲੀ ਗੱਲ ਵੀ ਸੀਗੀ, ਔਰ ਉੱਥੋਂ ਦੇ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਾਫੀ ਨਿਰਾਸ਼ਾ ਵੀ ਝਲਕੀ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕੈਂਡੀਡੇਟ ਉਹ ਹੁਣ ਹੀ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਆ ਕੇ ਮਿਲਦਾ ਪਿਆ, ਹੁਣ ਹੀ ਕਿਸੇ ਸਵਾਲਾਂ ਦੇ ਜਵਾਬ ਨਹੀਂ ਦੇਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ, ਅਤੇ ਉਹ ਅੱਗੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਉਹ ਕੀ ਕਰੂਗਾ। ਸੋ ਕਾਫੀ ਨਿਰਾਸ਼ਾ ਵੀ ਹੋਈ, ਕਾਫੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਮਜ਼ਾਕ ਵੀ ਉਡਾਇਆ ਗਿਆ। ਉੱਥੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਇੱਕ ਪੰਪਕਿਨ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਉਹ ਰੱਖਿਆ ਹੋਇਆ ਸੀਗਾ ਜਿਮ ਪ੍ਰੈਂਟਿਸ ਦੀ ਸੀਟ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ। ਸੋ ਖੈਰ ਇਹ ਮਜ਼ਾਕ ਨਾ ਮਜ਼ਾਕ ਰਿਹਾ, ਪਰ ਇਹ ਮਾਮਲੇ ਨੂੰ ਬਹੁਤ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਪਬਲਿਕ ਆ ਉਹ ਬਹੁਤ ਸੀਰੀਅਸ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਨਾਲ ਲੈ ਰਹੀ ਆ। ਔਰ ਇਸ ਤੋਂ ਇਲਾਵਾ ਜੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰੀਏ ਕਿ ਵੋਟਾਂ ਕਿੱਦਣ ਨੇ, ਅਤੇ 27 ਅਕਤੂਬਰ ਨੂੰ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਵੋਟਾਂ ਨੇ ਜੀ। ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਐਡਵਾਂਸ ਪੋਲਿੰਗ ਨੇ ਜੀ ਉਹ 22 ਤਰੀਕ ਤੋਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ 25 ਤਰੀਕ ਤੱਕ ਹੋਣਗੀਆਂ। ਸੋ ਅਗਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ 27 ਤਰੀਕ ਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਤਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਐਡਵਾਂਸ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਵੋਟਿੰਗ ਆ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹਿੱਸਾ ਲੈ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ, ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਆਪਣੀ ਵੋਟ ਦਾ ਇਸਤੇਮਾਲ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। ਸੋ 22 ਤਰੀਕ ਤੋਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ 25 ਤਰੀਕ ਤੱਕ, ਅਤੇ ਇਹ ਬਾਈ ਇਲੈਕਸ਼ਨਸ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਲੋਕ ਨੇ ਆ ਕੇ ਵੋਟਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਾਉਂਦੇ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਇੰਨੀਆਂ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਇੰਪੋਰਟੈਂਟ ਨਹੀਂ ਆ। ਪਰ ਜੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਦੇਖੀਏ ਤਾਂ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਬਾਈ ਇਲੈਕਸ਼ਨਸ ਆ ਉਹ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਇੰਪੋਰਟੈਂਟ ਆ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਇੱਥੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕੈਂਡੀਡੇਟ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਇੱਕ ਮੈਸੇਜ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਹੈ। ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਅਗਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪੋਜੀਸ਼ਨ ਦੀ ਪਾਰਟੀ ਦੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਕੈਂਡੀਡੇਟ ਨੂੰ ਵੋਟ ਪਾਉਂਦੇ ਹੋ ਅਤੇ ਉਹ ਇੱਕ ਬਹੁਤ ਵੱਡਾ ਮੈਸੇਜ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਆ ਉਹ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਤੱਕ ਪਹੁੰਚਾਉਂਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਇਸ ਵੋਟਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਅਗਰ ਆਪੋਜੀਸ਼ਨ ਦਾ ਕੋਈ ਕੈਂਡੀਡੇਟ ਜਿੱਤਿਆ ਤਾਂ ਕਿਉਂ ਜਿੱਤਿਆ ਆ, ਕਿ ਲੋਕ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਨਾਰਾਜ਼ ਨੇ, ਔਰ ਇਹ ਸਾਰੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਵਾਲ ਨੇ ਇਹ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਤੱਕ ਫਿਰ ਪਹੁੰਚਦੇ ਨੇ, ਅਤੇ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਨਾਰਾਜ਼ਗੀਆਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਦੂਰ ਕਰਨ ਲਈ ਕੋਈ ਨਾ ਕੋਈ ਕਦਮ ਚੁੱਕਦੀ ਹੈ। ਕਿਉਂ ਇੱਕ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਇਹ ਡੈਮੋਕ੍ਰੈਟਿਕ ਸਿਸਟਮ ਹੈ ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਹਰੇਕ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਟੈਪ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਆ ਪਬਲਿਕ ਦਾ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਆ ਉਹ ਪਬਲਿਕ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਚੁਣੀ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਆ, ਅਤੇ ਜੇ ਉਹ ਪਬਲਿਕ ਆਪਣੇ ਵੋਟਾਂ ਦੇ ਰਾਹੀਂ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਤੱਕ ਇਹ ਮੈਸੇਜ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਪਹੁੰਚਾਵੇ ਕਿ ਕਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਠੀਕ ਕਰਨ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਆ, ਤਾਂ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਦੀ ਆ। ਸੋ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਵਿਚਾਰਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਅੱਜ ਦਾ ਇਹ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦਾ ਲੱਗਾ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਦੱਸਣਾ। ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਮੁਲਾਕਾਤ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੀ ਲੱਗੀ, ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੋਈ ਸਵਾਲਾਤ ਨੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਪੁੱਛ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। ਅਗਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਵਾਈਲਡ ਰੋਜ਼ ਪਾਰਟੀ ਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਸਵਾਲਾਤ ਪੁੱਛਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੋ ਤਾਂ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੱਸ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। ਸਾਨੂੰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸੰਪਰਕ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ ਈਮੇਲ ਦੇ ਰਾਹੀਂ ਜਾਂ ਫ਼ੋਨ ਨੰਬਰ ਦੇ ਰਾਹੀਂ। ਇਸ ਤੋਂ ਇਲਾਵਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਡਾ ਫੇਸਬੁੱਕ ਜਾਂ ਟਵਿੱਟਰ ਪੇਜ ਵੀ ਫੋਲੋ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। ਨਾਲ ਦੀ ਨਾਲ ਸਾਡਾ YouTube ਚੈਨਲ ਵੀ ਸਬਸਕ੍ਰਾਈਬ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। ਸੋ ਇਸ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਤੋਂ ਇਜਾਜ਼ਤ। ਮਿਲਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਇੱਕ ਨਵੇਂ ਸ਼ੋਅ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੱਕ ਨਵੇਂ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਦੇ ਮੁੱਦੇ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ। ਤਦ ਤੱਕ ਲਈ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ।